Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of September. Oh, no, this is for mid-September. Just kidding. You have this Heavenly Messages card and this Guided and Protector, or this Guide and Protector card. So I feel like you are literally receiving messages from your guides. I would pay attention to any intuitive hits, any intuitive messages, any signs, symbols, synchronicities, pretty much anything that you are receiving, because, these could include like intuitive guidance. Everyone's had the tower, by the way. I wouldn't even worry about it. Everybody had the tower for the eclipse readings as well. And so there could be some sort of global tower moment or, whatever going on in the world. So, like I said, wouldn't even worry about it. But you have the Knight of Wands, the Tower, and the High Priestess. What I would say is the Tower and the High Priestess, could be like a shocking revelation or sudden insight that you are getting. And again, you have that Guide and Protector card there. And so the High Priestess can represent intuitive messages or receiving intuitive messages. And, again, like sometimes I feel that the Tower can just say that you are surprised that you were right about a message, right? So you have the King of Wands, and I'm wondering if some of you have dealt with the King of Wands type of person, a fire sign, and you could maybe you have an intuitive feeling about a fire sign and you are correct about it, and so that could be why the Tower is showing up, is because you are surprised that you were correct. It's like your intuition was spot on, and I kind of get that feeling from this first part of the message. You have the Tower, and you have that Heavenly Message card, and this lightning bolt that's hitting the top of the Tower can represent like a sudden insight, or it can represent a light bulb moment. So I feel a lot of you could be receiving messages that help you, guide you, or help to give you a light bulb moment. The whole point of the Tower is that these people are coming back down to reality, and they've been ignoring reality for a long time. So, again, there could be a lot of truth. You end with the Ace of Swords. We're in a time of truth. Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. We'll have, there's so much going on that I think could be exposing the truth. This eclipse as well with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune is retrograde, and, Neptune in Pisces is definitely full of illusion, and, like, nothing is the truth. I've been saying this since 2016. And now that Neptune is going retrograde, it kind of, I think, brings the truth out a little bit more, allows us to see the truth. So again, there could be some truths that are being revealed. You have the High Priestess. The High Priestess says, navigate with your intuition. Again, in a time of craziness, again, we're in a time of chaos until 2033 energetically. So to navigate the world, make sure to listen to your inner truth, make sure to listen to your intuition. There is a theory that the High Priestess has her back to the world. Like she is, the theory is that she is closing out the world, the energy of the world, so that she can listen to her intuition. And I kind of get that feeling for you, Gemini, where it's like maybe you need to take some time to listen to yourself and block everything out, even if it's only, 5 minutes a day, because it probably will help you put things into perspective, which will make life easier. Again, if we gain perspective, it makes things easier. With the King of Wands, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is this or that thinking, usually when we have something like this, where you could be getting an intuitive hit. Two of Pentacles is usually work hard, play hard. So I would make sure to balance the two things out. But I do feel that some of you are making a choice, or you're about to make some sort of a decision in your life, and it could be intuitive. It could cause a Tower moment. I always say that sometimes we cause our own Tower moments, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Moving is a Tower moment. So you could just be moving. Getting a new job, leaving an old one is a Tower moment. You are leaving one reality for another. So again, the Tower is not a bad card. With the Tower, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it to keep putting your energy into something? You might have already had a Tower moment. The Tower always gets reduced down to its foundation, and then we rebuild the Tower. But what I would say is, with the Seven of Pentacles, is it worth it? Is there, if you've had some sort of Tower moment, the Seven of Pentacles basically says, do you need to grow this again, or could you go do something else, or should you go do something else? And again, I can't answer that question for you. It's like, if you had a dream business and maybe things came crashing down, but it's still your dream, then it might be worth rebuilding. If you had a relationship that sucked and it towered, then it's probably not worth rebuilding. So again, it's going to be different for all of you. I'm reading for 1 billion of you, so you're going to have to, put it into perspective according to whatever you went through. With the High Priestess, you have the Empress. Yeah, I feel like you're focusing on your own abundance. In a lot of ways, I feel a lot of you are making a big change here because it's an eclipse. We always make big changes during eclipses. But you also have the Death card to the Knight of Pentacles. It's like you've already grown something and you're creating a transformation or a change to grow something new. He has these empty fields behind him on the Knight of Pentacles, so he is choosing to grow something new or to grow something different. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this adventure card and this regret card. I kind of feel that they're, like, I don't think these are real regrets. You have the Nine of Swords, and I feel like some of you could be being triggered by the eclipse, and you could be thinking about something from the past with the Nine of Swords. And it's like sometimes I think we think that we want something, or we think that something was great when it really wasn't. And I feel you're going on an adventure to discover something new. You have two aces right after the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. But again, the Nine of Swords can kind of represent regrets or sadness, even though it's a never-ending nightmare. He has this blanket, and it's a comfort blanket. This blanket has a bunch of astrological symbols all over it. And so the blanket is comforting him in a difficult time because it's saying you have learned from all of these things that you've been through. That's why they're all astrological symbols, because they represent signs and transits and things like that he has been through. He has learned from all those things. So even though he's going through a tough time, he should use that as a source of comfort because he has learned something from what he has been through. And the Nine of Swords says, do you really want to repeat something? And I kind of feel that's what that Tower and the Seven of Pentacles is saying. Like, do you want to repeat something, or are you going to grow something new? And, spoiler alert here, Gemini, I feel that you are clearly going to grow something new with this right here. You also have the Death card. The Death card is a pretty good card because we have these two pillars from the moon right here, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. So to me, the Death card can sometimes represent clarity. The King is also dead underneath the Death Rider, and this represents the death of establishment. So again, the Tower also represents the death of establishment. The cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius, Pluto going over it, is the death of establishment. I've been saying this for years. So again, we are just in a time of the death of establishment. So things that have been established for a long time could be undergoing some sort of transformation. They might be being rebuilt, just like the Tower, or we might be scrapping things in our lives and moving on to new, bigger, and better ideas. And again, it's going to be different for every situation, but the Death card is definitely something transforming in your life. You have the Five of Swords. Again, another clue that you're probably just separating away from something. So again, if something has undergone a Tower already, or if something has left your life already, and it could be anything, it doesn't have to be love, could be a business, a job, whatever. The Five of Swords would say that you're probably choosing to walk away. And then we literally go Knight of Pentacles, growing something new. Eight of Cups is the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it, and the Eight of Cups would be walking away from something that no longer serves you and choosing to move in a new direction. So it's all adding up. With the Nine of Swords, you have the High Priestess. Yes, definitely time to trust your intuition. The Nine of Swords says that you have a choice. You can be the bug or the windshield, and you need to get up out of that bed and change your story. So I feel for a lot of you, the High Priestess, like, your intuition is encouraging you to change your story. With the Death card, you have the Seven of Wands, I'm pretty sure you had this in your eclipse reading as well, because I seem to remember saying something to you about drawing a line in the sand. Seven of Wands is having boundaries in the sense that you draw a line in the sand, you say, this is what I'm willing to accept in my life, and nothing below this line can enter into my life. So a lot of you are kind of in that energy, I believe, of drawing a line in the sand, what you're willing to accept. With the Five of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. So clearly, you've been through something in the past or the recent past, and the Four of Swords can say that you are in a period of time where you are resting, relaxing, recovering. There's also a person right here who is blessing another person, and it can just represent receiving a blessing. So I do feel a lot of you could be receiving blessings. I also am getting with that Nine of Swords that, again, the whole point of the Nine of Swords is that you have to look at what you've been through, and you have to get the gold out of it. I encourage everyone to look at the hard things they've been through and to find the good thing in it. Because when we do that, that's when we get the gold and we can finally move forward. So I feel like there is gold available to you in like the lessons that you've learned. And if you find that gold, you will be much more successful. You even have this oyster card, and it says concept, beauty, resilience. You have the centaur. It says untamed nature, marksman, and master teacher. So again, the whole entire first 2 rows are definitely about learning, right? You have learned a lot through the difficulties that you've been through. The oyster forms a pearl when something on the inside of the oyster is irritating it, and it forms the pearl around the irritation. So it's like, again, it's kind of like saying that you are about to get your rewards for everything that you've been through. And I kind of feel like that's where this reading is going. It's like you are an oyster developing a pearl, or you have developed your pearl, or whatever you want to call it. So I really like to see that. You have the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. I don't know if I said this, but this is your messages from your future self. I kind of feel that if you have been feeling a lack of inspiration, or if you've been having a hard time getting motivated recently, that you're about to feel very motivated and very driven at this time. I actually see a lot of progress coming in for you. I kind of wonder, it's like, things should be good for you because you have Jupiter in your sign. But I think maybe recently, like I'm doing this video on the 14th, right? So right before the eclipse. But I'm wondering if the eclipse is triggering a past tower moment. Like you had a tower moment, or you didn't get something you wanted, is the feeling that the reading is giving me. And you could be thinking about it more, or you could be feeling emotional because this eclipse is happening in Pisces. And so you could be feeling more emotional about something that you didn't receive or get. But on the other hand, I feel that this could be motivating you to make some changes. And the Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. You have the Death card, which is also out with the old, in with the new. And you have the Nine of Swords, which says you need to change your story. And now you have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles normally represents no movement. He's being too cautious. The whole point of the Knight of Pentacles is that he has everything he needs to be very successful. He has these green leaves, which represent oak leaves, in the tarot, which represent knowledge and wisdom. But he has these empty fields behind him, and he could easily plant seeds in those empty fields, and they would grow. So I kind of feel it's time for you to grow something new. And the Ace of Wands, is a card of growth. It is a card of kind of nurturing something into existence. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to start anything new that you're thinking of starting. You're clearly walking away from something. You have the Eight of Cups. Again, this is the only card that has an eclipse on it in the tarot. So a lot of you, and we have this eclipse, a lot of people have had this card in this set of readings. So I think a lot of you could just be eclipsing something out of your life that you no longer need or desire. The Eight of Cups is also about walking away from things that no longer serve you. So it's like sometimes with the Eight of Cups, we can weigh up our options, or we can be analyzing something. Again, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles could say that you're looking at things that you've invested in, and maybe it's just not cutting it any longer. It could be anything. Could be a relationship. Could be a business. Could be an idea. But if it's not cutting it, you could be walking away from it because you're not willing to settle. And I kind of feel this reading is saying don't settle. With the Ace of Wands, yes, you have the Eight of Pentacles. If you have been having a hard time working on things and getting a result, which definitely could be true based off of the first 2 rows here, then I feel the Eight of Pentacles is saying if you work on this new inspiration or something that is inspiring you, or if you're working on something that you're feeling motivated to work on, which is usually half the battle, then you will experience growth. Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. It basically says whatever you're working on is going to produce a result in the future. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. There you go. I love this. Definitely much better. I feel this is saying you're taking action now. So this right here, again, Knight of Pentacles is like no action. But the Knight of Wands is enthusiastic and excited and motivated to get started on something new. So it's almost like this Ace of Wands is kind of like saving your reading. It's almost like the Ace of Wands is the inspiration you've been waiting for, and maybe you just haven't been feeling inspired to do anything. And now you're feeling inspired and you're taking action. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Strength card. I kind of feel like the Strength card is saying it'll all be worth it, or now you are seeing how it's all worth it. Especially if you've been struggling, or if you haven't been seeing results or haven't been getting results in your life. The Strength card is about strength. The Strength card is about you being strong and you kind of doing a display of strength. She has her hands, in this lion's mouth. And I always say that, who in the right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? So the strength card is a display of strength. It's you being seen as being strong. And I do feel like whatever you're walking away from here is it is going to be something that requires strength, or it has. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this grasshopper. It says, take a leap of faith. You have this canary. It says, sing your own song. You could be kind of reinventing yourself in a lot of ways with the tower. The canary says you're being more unique. And the grasshopper is saying, take the leap of faith in your life to stand out. The strength card is all about standing out. She is standing out because she has conquered her inner voice or her inner demons. And when we do that, usually we do stand out because we're not giving in to our lower desires, right? We are being strong. And so I feel it's time for you to take a leap of faith. The grasshopper is also, sorry, my dog is barking, but the grasshopper is also very lucky. You have the Ace of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Three of Cups. The Ace of Swords is a victory or a success coming in for you. You have these two aces, and two aces is a definite yes to any question I haven't answered. The two aces would also represent a new beginning. The Ace of Swords would represent like a more focused new beginning. It's like laser-like focus, I always say, with the Ace of Swords. And it would also represent you getting a new crown. The crown is falling off the top of the tower here. And so I think for a lot of you that this Ace of Swords could say that you are reclaiming some sort of crown in your life, especially if you feel like you lost something. But the other thing about the crown is that it could just say that you are kind of reclaiming your identity, or you are claiming a new identity, because your crown is kind of like your knowledge and the things that you've learned and who you are. And, I really do feel that with the Ace of Swords. You have the Five of Cups again coming up in the good stuff. So this would say that you are no longer holding on to something that you are sad about losing. He has these three cups in front of him. And, the story of the Five of Cups is that he has lost his taste for wine, so he is grieving the loss of his taste for something that he once enjoyed. But if he turns around and is grateful for what he has, he will get this bridge in the castle. But it's coming up in the good stuff, which is saying you are being grateful. You have that regret card as well, and Five of Cups is regret. So showing up in the good stuff, it could say you're no longer regretting something, and you are seeing that, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. You're seeing that you where you're headed is much better than what you thought you had in the first place. And I definitely get that feeling here from this reading. You have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups would be a lot of positive support from the people in your life, or it would be you getting a lot of support from the people in your life. It's a card of your community. It's also a card of celebrating a harvest as well. And again, if you're feeling more motivated to work, then obviously, and you have the Eight of Pentacles here in the reading, then obviously you could be making more money or celebrating a harvest. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Six of Swords. I mean, the whole entire reading is kind of about moving on from something. So I feel like you're moving on from choppy waters to calmer shores. And, this would kind of represent general improvements or things improving. With the Five of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. He has two cups behind him on the Five of Cups. So a lot of you could be discovering a new connection as well if you are interested in love. There's not like a ton of love here, but Two of Cups would definitely be a solid connection. It would be, this could also be something that starts as communication as well. So this right here is a staff of Hermes, and Hermes is Mercury. So a lot of you could be starting something where you are just communicating with a person and then kind of going from there. But I definitely do feel love. But I want to say as well that this is probably something that is going to be more solid in the future. Again, if you meet a person right now, maybe you just start talking to the person, or it kind of starts a little bit slow. But I feel like that's a good thing based off of this reading, because you are changing is what the reading is saying. So if you're going through a change, it kind of makes sense that you would be taking your time. With the Three of Cups, you have a third ace. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, definitely a solid new beginning. It's almost like all this here had to be cleared out so that you could have these three aces, new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles would be a really solid new opportunity, something that has a lot of potential. So again, with these three aces, it kind of makes the reading pretty good, in a lot of ways, especially the last two rows. So let's get a little bit more detail here. You've definitely been through it. You have this Authority card, again, reclaiming your crown. Like I said, some of you Could be stepping into authority roles or authority positions. If you want to have a social media following, maybe you want to be seen as being an authority, and you definitely could be increasing your authority. You have this resistance card. Every single person, I think, almost has had this card. We just have to push through the resistance. We're in a time of resistance. Anything we want, we're probably going to experience resistance, like our own personal resistance, thinking we can't do something or thinking we're not good enough. And I feel it's definitely a time where we have to push through those moments, right? You have this secrets card. This is a pretty good card. This is a card of education, and it's a card that says if you don't know how to do something, learn about it and get answers to the secrets, and you will be successful. So it's really a card of research. You have this fulfillment card, 3 aces. Definitely something new is going to be bringing you a lot of fulfillment, and that's probably what I would focus on there. And finally, you have this concentration card. Yeah, Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is laser-like focus. The more you focus on exactly what you want, not on your old story, Nine of Swords, just this repeating story, which could be being triggered during the eclipse. As long as you focus on what you want, you will get it. So I would stay focused. But pretty interesting reading. Again, I don't think it's bad. I think this is a triggering moment during the eclipse that you could be having, and everything else looks good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.